Hello, what I have here is quite a large package, so let's open it up. Nice packaging. Okay. I like this really large like bubble wrap Air Plus. I'm sure it will be very therapeutic. Okay, so here's my new laptop. The bag was not part of the deal. It was not mentioned by the seller. So yes, it is a nice extra. Geschenk, like Germans say, because this one came from Germany. And it is used Dell Precision, I think, M4500 laptop. Now I really have a backlog of my videos to stitch together. I will not use the word produce, but to put it together and publish. And I kind of bought this thing. One of the reasons is to help me with it is faster, more powerful. It will help me to make videos ready for publishing faster and more efficiently. And I also need some machine for CAD for 3D modeling and such. And yeah, this I didn't want to invest lots of money for this. I didn't feel the need, so I just bought a used mobile workstation. Now this was advertised as class B-ware, so the one that has some cosmetic or other issues, and generally it seems quite well. There are some, okay, the screws are missing here because the hard drive is missing. I bought it without hard drive, and it seems reasonably well, in a good shape, except I see it has a crack in the bezel here. But the keyboard, the mouse pad and the keyboard doesn't seem to be worn out. Probably they were using it on the cradle or the base station and with external keyboard and mouse, because yeah, this is a mobile workstation. For CAD usage or anything really, you don't want to use this thing. Although I got used to this kind of pointer, track point on my ThinkPads. So okay, I fired it up, so the battery has some life in it at least, and nothing comes on the screen. Oh, okay, here we go. So it is Windows Intel i5, like it says here, i5, but it is the first generation Core i processors. No hard drive, but yeah, it fires up and it is silent at this point with no load. But it is upgradable to i7 quad core, and it has NVIDIA graphics FX 880, I think, 1 gig of RAM. So yeah, it's not a beast by today's standards, but it will do the job, I hope. So okay, I'm just going to install Windows and see how it works now. There is one thing I heard about these laptops, so let's see if it is true. Okay, look at that now. So what do they say here? This actually feels like metal, although it is probably metallized because of the electrical emissions regulations, because I can see the tooling, some signs from plastic tooling. And here you go, you can upgrade it just like that. One screw which even doesn't fall off, it holds in place, and everything is here. So there is a place for W1, like UMTS card, maybe UMTS and GPS combo, I don't know what is compatible with this. Or you can put M-SATA SSD here, which is nice. Then you can have SSD and RAM drive. I ordered SSD for this, of course, plus memory, hard drive. You can remove your cooling system and clean it, and which is recommendable when you buy a used laptop. You should really clean all. I will clean all this in time and put, new better thermal paste with silver in it, because usually they put silicone stuff which is rubbish. Memory, ENCR. What is ENCR? I don't even know. And here's the processor, obviously. Battery, easily replaceable, optical drive, and yeah, it seems reasonably well engineered. I checked it out on internet. This ENCR is obviously some instant-on system from Dell. The card contains Android or some other operating system, so when you turn out the computer, you don't have to wait for main operating system to load, to check for some, to check your email, something on the web or something like that. And it seems to be mini PCIe slot, as well as this one, only shorter, but I'm not sure if it accepts any other PCIe cards. It's probably restricted in BIOS. There are two memory slots. They are populated with two unequal 2 gig modules, and it is DDR3. The architecture supports 16 gig maximum. Nominally it is 8 gig for the Dell per specification, but it actually supports 16 gig, and there are reports of people doing just that. I will probably not remove the cooling system to clean it and to replace the compound, but because I'm not sure yet, I'll probably get i7 processor. For this one, this is an i5 dual core, I think i520, 530, something like this, maybe 540, but maybe I'll go for quad core, I'm not sure yet. And MDC, I don't know what is MDC, maybe Bluetooth. There's some unpopulated connectors, so there is possibility this system doesn't have Bluetooth, but oh well, I don't actually need it all that much, so probably I'll leave it blank like this. The drive is DVD multi-recorder, as they call it. You probably these days you don't need optical drive so much, but if you have space inside your laptop, it's nice to have the drive, especially the bay. You can use the bay, of course, for extra hard drive. So you can have, maybe if you need UMTS, you can have then SSD and hard drive, or you can have SSD and 2 hard drives, or maybe there is extra battery for this, for the drive bay, I'm not sure. So let's look at the charger. It is pretty hefty, 130 watt workstation class. The connector looks like 7.4 millimeter smart pin from HP. It even has something like smart pin there. It looks it looked on the first glance that it is heat shrunk or something. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but no, it actually is like that. It looks kind of weird, and but anyway, I'm sure it's not compatible with HP 7.4 pin, a 7.4 millimeter connector. But this I found this pretty reliable from HP, so I expect this one to be okay as well. Pretty hefty EMI protection, ferrite core, looks big, and let's see, it's probably 19.5 volts, 130 watts. So you can actually use the HP power supply if it is compatible. I'm not sure, but I will not try anyway. And what I wanted to say, this is pretty big footprint, but it is quite thin. So I like this concept. Instead of having one fat brick, this one is definitely easier. Okay, sorry to make so much noise. Okay, this is definitely easier to carry inside your bag, when it's slim. Battery, look at the size of the battery, very tiny, so I don't have much expectations from it. It's probably just for emergency. You can probably not do any serious work on battery power. Interestingly, when I tried to press the battery indicator first, it showed full. Now it shows only one level, one notch, so it's probably pretty much dead anyway. So this is that. By the way, I like the system for removing the optical drive. There is the screw here and it's missing. You can secure it with this screw, but basically you push this thing like this. Here is your drive. Very nice. And the drive is Dell Model DU813S. It's DVD rewriter, but I actually don't see the real manufacturer's label. It's probably somewhere under this carry thing. It's very slim, so even if you can fit battery, it will be not much of a battery. I'm not even sure the hard drive, maximum 7 millimeters, if that. Port wise, on the front you have the pretty quality latch with metal latches on the screen. I'm not sure if it is visible on camera, black on black, but yeah, it instills quite a lot of confidence. I can see the mechanism inside. It's all metal and nice and sturdy. And by the way, the hinges are no play whatsoever and pretty stiff, but you can still open it, press without, you know, holding it down too much. So here you have just some power on and charging indicators. Unfortunately, you cannot power it on without opening the laptop. So if you want to connect it to the external keyboard and monitor and whatnot, you have to buy the docking station to turn it on or leave it open. On the left side there is Kensington lock, USB 2.0 port, second USB 2.0 combined with eSATA, display port, cooler exhaust grill. This is PCI Express card 54 or whatever you call it, express card. Okay, stay in. There is SD card reader. This is just dummy plastic. Hard drive bay. This is it for the left side. On the back, VGA, Ethernet, battery goes here. There is obviously modem option, but this one is plugged, so you don't actually need modem, no problems. Then on the right side, this is, I'm not sure what is this, but it looks like full-sized piece. Okay. So yeah, it actually has full-sized PC card in addition to the one on the left. So yeah, the possibilities of expansions are very good on this laptop. There is the DVD optical bay, DVD drive I mentioned before. We will remove it like this. Very nice. There is the smart card reader for identification and such. There is the switch to turn off the wireless stuff, firewire, headphone, microphone, and two USB 2.0 connectors. So obviously there is no USB 3.0, although it was available at the time. Maybe, yeah, it's just beginning to emerge, but if you really need it, you can use the expansion card here. And this is pretty much it port wise. There is some sticker glue residue on the top, so there is a way you are supposedly able to clean this, and that is with the WD-40 spray. But yeah, let me try it out. I'll just put it small on the rag. It usually helps quite a lot if you get a bottle that is not empty and has the valve thingy on top, preferably with the little straw. So let me soak this thing up a little bit, just tiny amount. Okay, now let me wait for some time for this thing to soak up. Let's give it a go. It is going a little bit, but it's not a fast process. I think the most important tool is patience. So yeah, it removes it, but not very fast. I will not bother you with this. So this thing will take you there, but it will definitely take you some time and elbow grease. It was easier for the small label where the glue was thin. For the thicker glue you have to remove it mechanically, you know. But when there is only a small residue that you cannot see but you feel it sticky under the finger, this thing really works very well. Now you may be tempted to use acetone or paint thinner or some stronger chemical like that, but don't, you know. This is obviously some coated plastic. You will remove the paint, the coating. Then you will need another sticker in the end, which is the bigger one than the one you started with. Now this one is actually probably it is modem port. So this is where modem goes, which is not really important for me. But I noticed here there is another antenna connector here. This one is probably for the Bluetooth. That is probably missing because too many. There are connectors for UMTS, for WW1 here. Two of them. Probably, maybe it's just two antenna that is going through the screen bezel. This is probably Bluetooth. I will not bother removing this cover. And here is obviously the GeForce graphics cards and the main CPU. So this one is not upgradable, although you can buy it with two options. Is it FX880 and FX1000? And CPU is upgradable, hopefully to quad-core i7. I'm not also too sure about this, if there is any difference in mainboard and the chipset. So this is everything that is to it. I put a hard drive inside and yeah, it works really well. The screws fit well. There is no extra caddy thing or anything else. You just put the hard drive inside. There is the SATA connector here that plugs directly without any adapters like some notebooks have, and you just screw it inside in the bottom holes that are on every hard drive. So yeah, it works pretty well, pretty simple, effective and sturdy solution. And I just love this system. You just slide it in. There is a spring beneath this screw. And you're all done. And the connector I found funny, glows in the dark. This is why I thought something is wrong with it. This is my first experience with Dell. I had a small Dell before, is it D500 or something. It was a nice machine, actually the same color as this one, but very small, 12-inch. But yeah, I found it's quite nice. And see the thickness of the cable, it is, you know, 130 watts. Like I said, opening it up is quite a nice experience. It's a hard latch, the hinges are stiff, but you can do it without holding the base down, and basically no play in it. Maybe in time, you know, it's old laptop, maybe this one is just a little bit better preserved, but I don't see any problems here. Now talking about that, this is, like I said, beware. like Germans say, be class or beware. And you know, except for the little crack in the bezel, it's this is not the first beware thing I bought from Germany, but they will not sell you a cat in a bag. It's quality stuff. If they say it's not so good, you can expect it to be very, very good. Maybe the battery is not working, but yeah, this is what you expect. This is around 5 years old computer. This is supposed to be unboxing and the preview or the first view of this thing, so I will not go into too much details. But let me note this is the instant on button for the card that is missing, so let's see what it does. Something. It is doing something on the hard drive, and I don't know if you can see it. The reader is not installed in machine, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I don't think this is a very useful thing, but you can see the crack in the bezel now more clearly. Continue. And it probably goes into the usual power sequence. So let me force it off. By the way, the button has nice long play, the power button in it. You know, when you press it down, it's not just click like this cheap ass momentary switch buttons that costs below 1 cent per piece, but it has a nice feel. And the keyboard is actually, it is not you know, ThinkPad class, but it is very nice. The trackpad is a little bit small for today's standards, but it feels really good. It has third button thingy for something. The buttons feel nice. I like this one actually, and I like 2 sets of buttons. Sometimes it is useful. I usually do like this. So let's power it up with the real power button. By the way, this is the light sensor, I think. How do you enter BIOS? This disk contains Windows 8.1 from my previous laptop. It is from a ThinkPad, so I don't know if it will boot up or create problems. That is a completely different system than this one, but it does something obviously. Like I said, this is, I think, light sensor and 2 microphones, so no webcam on this model or this variant. Windows 8 or 8.1 seems a bit pretty flexible. No blue screens or such appeared so far, although the system I installed this Windows on is, you know, completely different than this one. No similarity at all. So let me pause the video. Yeah, let me pause the video and see what happens. I don't know if you can hear it very well on camera. The disc seems pretty loud in this thing. I had it in my ThinkPad X200S and it was much less audible, I must say. So I'm a bit surprised about this. Obviously something is, you know, it is amplifying the noise, the vibration from the thing. And okay, The Windows actually booted. I'm surprised with this. I have my Windows 10 ready to install it, but actually this one booted and it is waiting for fingerprint device. This one doesn't have fingerprint reader like my ThinkPad, so this one can wait forever. But let me see. Yeah, the track point is actually pretty nice. I like to use this thing. I got a habit from my IBM ThinkPads, so this one feels quite good. Even better than the trackpad. Let's try to log in. Yeah, it's doing something.